Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're checking out the video Top 10 Scary American Facts by the channel Most Amazing Top 10. It's this video right here, and we are going to check out the facts and see how I can relate to them as a Swedish person. And yeah, so let's get into the reaction.
Heck, you could probably even live in Antarctica and you would definitely have a lot of knowledge about America, or at least have a vague idea. At least. The US is probably the country who has done globalization the best. Their adverts are all we see, 90 movies we see originate from Hollywood, and half the food we eat or clothes we buy come from American food chains or clothing brands. But
okay, half the foods, clothing brands, yeah, we got Nike, sure, we got a lot of brands from America, but one of the largest Swedish brands or largest clothing brands in the world is actually Swedish. You might have heard of it. It's a small little brand called H&M, you know. So not everything, but yeah, I understand what you mean. A lot of big brands come from America, so base a lot of our own thoughts and ideas on American brands, which is quite interesting to say, but let's get back to the video.
contrary to popular belief, there are probably things you didn't know about America, and better yet, there are scary things about America that you definitely didn't know, but after this video, you will. Now let's just start the video. Haha, no, I'm kidding, not yet. Before that, like and subscribe to the channel, guys, and scary American facts. Starting us off with number 10 is Captain Kidd. I feel like the Statue of Liberty is one of the biggest images of tourism in the world, and it's also a huge part of pop culture. I can't say I've met anyone that hasn't heard of it, or at least seen a picture of it.
I never heard of Captain Kidd. Was it Kidd? Yeah, I never heard of him. Okay.
Did you know that it's actually haunted? That's right. I'm sorry to all the kids living in New York watching this, because I'm about to ruin your favorite day out. I'm sorry, truly. Captain William Kidd was a well-known British pirate that frequented New York quite a bit in the 1700s. He used to raid enemy ships during the war, as well as some English ships too. More is more, I guess. He also contributed to the building of the original Trinity Church, and after he was tried and hung in England, people reported to seeing his ghost in the Trinity churchyard because his soul really wanted to be buried there. As a pirate, you can't possibly not have a stash of buried treasure, and as the guardian of the pedestal of the Statue of Liberty, a lot of people believed he buried his treasure there. In 1825, Sergeant Gibbs and Private Carpenter were assigned to the statue, and they tried to find Kidd's buried treasure. They found the chest, but before they could open it, the ghost of Captain Kidd rose from its grave right next to the chest, and they both fainted. They claimed he was breathing sulfuric fumes.
I don't know about that. Sounds cap, you know. Sounds very, very cap. I don't know.
And gliding around in a menacing fashion. Whatever that means, but there you go. Coming at number 9, we have the Donner Party, which most people probably haven't heard of, but why else am I here?
The only doner I have heard of is the doner meat, the kebab meat that you can buy at you can buy it pretty much everywhere in Sweden. There's kebab shops all over. And I've heard of the Donner Party. I don't think they're talking about the kebab meat now. I think they're talking about something else. Let's see.
The Donner Party were a group of 87 American pioneers that took a wagon train from Missouri and set out for California back in 1846. What was usually a 4 to 6 month journey ended up being a lot more, and the last group of surviving people didn't make it till March 1847, and some historians say it was one of the most spectacular yet bizarre tragedies in American history. By the start of November, the party had become trapped in the Sierra Nevada mountain range near Donner Lake due to a really heavy snowfall. A month and a half later, their food supplies had run out, and some brave souls tried to venture out to get supplies. The first relief group that came to help them came in February of 1847, which was nearly 4 full months after they had gotten stuck. The scary part was that a lot of the members resorted to cannibalism in order to survive, and
Nah, bro. Cannibals. Oh. I mean, I didn't know a lot of these things about America. I just thought America was the land of the hamburgers, the land of the cheeseburger. I didn't know about the Donner Party or the Captain Kidd. This is really interesting, actually.
Who are they eating? Members of their own party who'd already died from various reasons like frostbite, pneumonia, or starvation. They ate their friends, they ate mice, and they even ate ox bones. At the end of the entire ordeal, out of the 87 people that embarked on the journey, only 47 survived. At number 8 now are cows. I assure you this one is scary.
What can be weird about cow? Okay. I don't know.
Just hear me out. Cows are cute, sure. They moo, sure. They give us milk and beef, great. But these things are like 1,330 pounds, which is around like 9 American adults. So if this...
America must have some weird, holy shit, big cows. I don't know, the cows here in Sweden are probably the same weight. I am not a farmer, but my granddad used to be a farmer, and, well, maybe cows are that big. I have some cows. Back in my parents' house, we have cows there on the summer, and yeah, they get very big, and it's very scary to actually get close to them. But most cows that I have met are nice here in Sweden, at least. Are American cows murderers? What can be so scary about cows? They are often cute if you give them some wheat or some grass, you know, they come to you and they eat it from your hand. They can often pet them if you like to. I don't really see how they can be scary, so interesting.
Falls on you, it could crush you. Scary, right? And if they don't fall on you and kill you...
Yeah. Fall on you, yeah, sure. But what are you doing in the cow's enclosure? Why are you in there? Just... If you leave them alone, they will leave you alone. They won't fall on you unless you are right next to them. I mean, the only people who really can get hurt by the cows are the farmers, I suppose, but I don't really think they would go too close to the cows, would they? I don't know.
Not to worry, because they maul around 20 of us to death each year, and to make matters worse, there are way too...
Okay, 20 of us, not that much really. There are 8 billion people on this planet, 365 days a year, so on average it's less than one every 10th day. It's like maybe on high end one every 2 weeks, which is not that much, but still it's 20 humans, and yeah, that's quite sad. But is that in the US alone?
Many of them. In America, for every 3.5 humans, yes, that's a statistic, I don't know how you get half a human, but sure, for every 3.5 humans, there is 1 cow. In some states, there...
Oh shit. That's a lot of cows in America. Sure, there are 300 million people, so you would probably have a lot of cows to feed all of them and give them enough milk, but almost 100 million cows, oh, that's a lot. Yeah, that would bring the probability of getting mauled by a cow way up.
There are more cows than there are actual people. If you live in a state where cows outnumber you, then I apologize, but you will die in the next cowpocalypse. For example, Nebraska has a population of 1.92 million people. How many cows does it have, you may ask? 6.4 million.
In Sweden there lives 10 million people. That's almost the population of my entire country. Oh my god. 6.4 million cows? I don't even think we have that many cats in this country. I don't know. That's a lot of cows. Man. 6.5. Yeah, I suppose if you live in one of those states, I wouldn't really want to go outside.
Nearly 3 times as many cows as people. 1 human versus 3 cows. You can figure out the odds.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to the states of Idaho, Kansas, Iowa, Montana, North and South Dakota, Oklahoma, and Wyoming, because you all will lose the cowpocalypse. That is all. Filling our number 7 slot now, we have dentures. I mean, I don't think anyone watching this right now is old enough to be wearing dentures, but if you are, honestly, I just really like to see you take them off.
Well, what's weird about American dentures? Don't every country have them? I think we have them here in Sweden for older people, you know, or for people that destroy their teeth at younger age. I'm not sure.
I feel like every time I see that in a cartoon, I always found it really funny, and every time I see it in real life, I find it even funnier. I don't know. But anyway, before good old proper dental care in the US, and way before those gleaming white celebrity veneers, we had dentures made from human teeth. Most teeth were actually taken from the corpses of Civil War soldiers, and they would remove their teeth one by one and place them in artificial gums used by, obviously, the living. And it wasn't just people taking them lawfully. Some people...
Dentures made by human nah. People were weird back then, but sure, they didn't have plastic or anything synthetic back in the 1800s, you know, so I suppose you take what you have. That's weird.
She stole the teeth from the corpses in order to sell them to dentists.
Yeah.
Wow. If I had died in the Civil War, I'd be so pissed that someone was disrespecting my dead body like that. Like, put some respect on my name, please. Now at number 6 are medical errors. Honestly, the fact that this is even...
Oh no, don't even get me started on the medical industry of America. How can you claim to have the best healthcare or the best country in the world when you don't even have free healthcare? Here in Sweden we have free healthcare. The taxes pay for it. Sure, there are high taxes here in Sweden. We have about 30% of our income. It goes directly to taxes. If you earn less than or around the medium wage, it goes 30% directly to the tax office, the Skatteverket as we call it here in Sweden. Whoa. Yeah, I didn't... Why? Medical errors. If I pay the sum of an American bill, I have heard stories of where it cost $20,000 to give birth in the United States. And you're telling me they're medical errors? No. I want that shit to be flawless if I'm paying $20,000. I don't want my wife or kid to get hurt. No. Medical errors can't happen if you're paying such a high bill for doctors. But sure, doctors are humans as well, which means there will always be a human factor when you're dealing with people.
Today is scary in and of itself. What do you mean medical errors? How does one go to the hospital already worried about dying, but now have to worry about a medical error occurring during their procedure? Well, it's real, people, because medical errors are the 3rd leading cause of death in the US. 3rd leading cause.
3rd leading? Really? United States, the best country in the world? 3rd leading cause of death is medical errors. I can't.
For something that's meant to save your life, this is way too high up on the things that can kill you list. How oxymoronic is that? According to Johns Hopkins, more than 250,000 people die every year because of medical blunders, whereas other studies say the number is more along the line of 440,000. If heart disease or cancer hasn't killed you, don't worry, because a medical error is next on the list, and that just may do it for you. A survey done on 11 rich nations by the Commonwealth Fund in 2014 found that the US ranked last place in overall healthcare performance. Fantastic. Coming in at number 5 is incarceration. Because this fact is about prison, it's automatically giving me PTSD about the scary hidden prisons video I did a week.
I've heard about American prisons. Yeah. I would not want to go to American prison. The prisons here in Sweden are like 5-star hotels. If I get arrested in Sweden, I will do my time. I don't really care about escaping or anything about that. Because, I mean, let me bring up a picture of a Swedish jail and you can just see, or a Swedish prison, let's say. This is a Swedish prison. Oh my, and you can see. This is not prison, this is a hotel, 5-star hotel.
a bit ago, and I just can't even think of that. But watch it if you haven't already. It's shocking to say the least. But anyway, according to the International Center for Prison Studies, the US incarcerates more people than any other country in the world. In 2015, it had
Well, yeah, sure, but it also has 300 million people. Sweden will never go on that list because we only have 10 million people. So it would be pretty impossible for us Swedes, unless pretty much every Swede becomes a criminal and goes into jail. But as you saw on those news articles about the Swedish prisons are already full and are closing down because, well, I guess it's too expensive to have a prison. I have heard that it costs around $1,100 American dollars a day to keep a Swedish prisoner in their prison. So it costs the taxpayers $1,100 each day per prisoner to just keep them there. So I suppose Swedes don't really put a lot of people in prison, and most people here in Sweden usually just get a hefty fine and maybe some what's the thing called when you have a person follow you around? You're not really free, but you are free. You can, people always watching you and can do random tests on you. I don't know what it's called, whatever. Or do you maybe just get one of those electronic foot locks that you put on your foot, and so the police can see where you are. Usually people here in Sweden don't really go to prison. So I could see that America would have one of the biggest incarcerations in the world, just based on that alone.
2.2 million people behind bars, which is around 22% of the total population of inmates around the world. If you put
2.2 million. How many people are criminals there in the US? Oh my god. Yeah, as I said, here in Sweden we only have 10 million people, so that would be like 22% of our population going directly to jail. It's crazy a lot. It's crazy amount of people. I mean, it's just crazy, for me.
In perspective, the US has nearly a quarter of all the world's inmates. That's insane. In 2016, 2.3 million people were behind bars, which was nearly almost 1% of the whole US population. Imagine 1% of your population is behind bars.
Yeah, it is almost 1% because 100% is 300 million. 1%. That would be like 100,000 people here in Sweden in jail. And I know it's not that high. 1%. What are you doing? Maybe you're putting too many people in jail, and maybe you should be putting more people on maybe house arrest, or probation is the word, I think, when people follow you around. But yeah, maybe don't put 1% of your population in prison. Sure, they might have killed someone. Okay, if they kill someone, you should go to prison if you kill someone. But, if you just have a speeding ticket or something like that, then you shouldn't go to prison. I don't know what you're doing in the US, but a quarter of the world's inmates? Really? Oh my. I thought that would go to China. They have 2 billion people. Maybe they don't have a lot of prisons. I don't know.
Insane and scary. At number 4 is pizza. Now, who doesn't love pizza? Whether you're team pineapple on the pizza or team no pineapple.
Okay, a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but I love pineapple on pizza. It's one of the best things you can have, a good Hawaiian pizza. And I like the Swedish Hawaiian pizza, not the American one. The American one is thick crust, like this thick, I don't know. But I don't like the American style. I like the pizzas we have here in Sweden. They're usually thin, like that. I don't know. They're usually thin crust pizzas, and they're just so much better according to me. Maybe that's because I have lived here my entire life and just eaten mostly Swedish pizza. The only American pizza I really had here in Sweden is Pizza Hut and Domino's, because we have that at some places, but that doesn't really count as American pizza. I have been to the US back in 2016 and 2017, and also when I was 1 year old back in 2005, but that doesn't count. And I have had real American pizza at some pizza shops, a lot of pizza places. And yeah, I just don't think it's as good as our Swedish pizza. It's just too greasy, too much dough. It just doesn't taste as good, according to me. But what could be scary about pizza? Well, let's check it out.
All agree pizza is great, and for anyone wondering, I was converted to Team Pineapple 4 years ago. Team Pineapple, I'm proud. But anyway, the US sells enough pizza every single day to cover 100 acres with pizza. I kid you not. Do you know how big 100 acres is? That's like 404,686 square meters. And
Yeah. 1 acre. Isn't that like half a hectare? Because 1 hectare is 1 football field, not American football, and not soccer, it's football. And I know it's 100 times 100 meters. An acre is, I think, around 45 point blah 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 meters times 45. I don't know. An acre is whatever I put here. Really, 100 acres of pizza a day? Okay.
know how to explain to you guys how big that is. You just have to Google it and see for yourself. It's like a proper farmland area. That's scary because as good as pizza is, it's oily as hell and cheesy as hell, aka it's unhealthy. And if America is selling 100 acres of it a day, no wonder people are obese. Filling our number 3 slot is the Green Man.
Well, I can't really talk about that since you can see I am fat myself. So I can't really speak about the obese part. Well, I can say that a lot of American people are obese because they eat a lot of pizza. They have a lot of fast food. They are the inventors of KFC, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, a lot of American fast food places that have, well, pretty much covered the entire planet are from the US. So it's not really that weird.
A. Raymond Robinson. Weirdly enough, Raymond is a bit of an American urban legend that a lot of people don't know about. Even though this isn't an urban legend video, he's still American and he's still scary, so it's happening. Robinson was born and raised in Pennsylvania, and when he was 9 years old, he was climbing a pole to reach a bird's nest when he was severely shocked by the electrical line. The bridge had killed a boy a year before him, and it had lines of 22,000 volts and 1,200 volts. If you're not that much of a physics nerd, that's okay, but that is a very high voltage, guys. People were stunned he even survived, but
yeah, it is a lot of voltage. I have heard people died of a lot less than that. Oh my. I kind of feel bad for saying is that him, because he looks pretty scary, you know. Good that he survived, of course. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't have, as she said, but yeah, it's really sad.
He was left extremely disfigured. He lost his right arm, his eyes, and his nose. He couldn't even go out in public anymore because he caused such a panic, so he stayed inside during the day and only went out at night. Which obviously adds even more fear to him, because if seeing him during the daylight scares people, you'd probably have a heart attack if you encountered him at night. People call him the Green Man because of his skin that was apparently green after the shock. That's just really unlucky. No arm, no eyes, no nose, and you're green. I feel for you. Now number 2 is the Jonestown Massacre. Now the People's Temple was an American Christian religious movement founded in 1955 by Jim Jones in Indianapolis. The 3,000 to 5,000 people who belonged to this movement lived in various settlements, but in 1974 they rented land in Jonestown, and hence the group was sometimes informally known as Jonestown. The group is best known not for its profound new teachings, but for the 918 people who died in a mass suicide. This case was the biggest loss of American civil life in a deliberate act before...
I don't like cults. Well, please don't go kill yourself because someone tells you to, because of God or something. I'm not really sure if I believe in God, but I'm not really sure if I believe in anything really. All I believe in is that somehow the existence of planets somehow was created, and a couple of billion years ago the Big Bang happened, and because of the Big Bang the Earth was created. No, because of Big Bang the whole universe was created. But how did Big Bang happen? That I can't answer you. Please just don't go kill yourself. It's not worth it. I promise you.
Or 9/11, so you can imagine the weight of this event. Jones cited the move to Jonestown was because of frequent media scrutiny about the movement and the spread of fascism in America. 4 years later, US Congressman Leo Ryan visited the settlement to investigate claims of abuse, and during his visit, a few members actually wanted to leave with him. However, they were intercepted by the temple's self-imposed security guards, who opened fire, killing Leo and 4 others. That same night, Jones ordered...
Well. Okay, I'm sorry. Americans and guns. Here in Sweden, unless you watch TV and the news, you probably will never encounter a gun. Sure, the gun violence here in Sweden is one of the worst on the entire planet, but that's pretty much just concentrated to the main bigger cities. So if you live outside of like Malmö, Stockholm or Gothenburg, Göteborg, then you won't really be affected by the gun violence, since it's mostly concentrated to those areas. I have heard of some shooting in smaller cities too, but it's usually just around Malmö and Stockholm, and some in Gothenburg too, but mostly Malmö and Stockholm is where pretty much 90% of all shootings happen. And it's really sad, but Malmö is one of the most horrid places here in Sweden. It's one of the most scary places. I would not want to live there. I'm actually born in Malmö, but I moved here to Småland when I was 3. My parents moved here and I moved along them. And yeah, I would not want to move back the way things are now, but yeah, the gun violence in the US, yeah, I don't agree with it. You should not be able to just go into any store and buy a gun. You don't know the mental capacity of people before they do something horrible. That's usually how most killings happen, because I think in the US you can't buy a gun if you have had some gun violence before, but the first time, how would they know that you're violent before you go buy a gun, if it's your first gun? So you're telling me you can go into a store and buy a gun and shoot down a bunch of people? I don't think it's right. I don't think people should be able to have guns. I think guns are one of the worst things that humans ever created. But you know what? What can we do right now? The only thing we can do is do gun control, but that won't really help, since I think a lot of Americans think like this because they feel safer if they have a gun. So therefore a lot of people in the US probably feel that they don't want to get rid of their guns. I don't know. I'm not American, but I don't agree with all the gun violence that any country have, really.
Everyone to drink a mixture of cyanide-laced grape-flavored Flavorade. Flavorade is just a non-fizzy soft drink, in case anyone wasn't aware. 918 people died and 276 of them were children. At first I thought maybe they didn't know the drink was laced, but the event is cited as the biggest mass suicide, so the people definitely knew what they were doing, and that level of brainwashing is terrifying. And finally, at number 1 is Lake...
Imagine the families of those people. I don't know. I just feel so bad for anyone who was involved in that. That does not sound good. I don't know. I know what to say. I just don't like people dying. I believe that everybody should just be friends, you know. Race, ethnicity doesn't matter. If you're human, and you should treat other humans as humans. I don't believe that you should kill anyone. I just believe that treat each other with respect and live peacefully. Don't kill each other, don't hit each other unless it's boxing and both people are aware of it. I kind of like boxing and MMA fighting, but that's another story, since that's well, they get paid for it and they both agreed to do it, so I suppose. But I don't know, I just like boxing because it can be entertaining to watch, but I don't like people killing each other. I don't like it. The only violence I would like to see in the future is in movies, since it it is actually pretty, I don't know, but fun, but it is pretty entertaining to watch a action movie where the bad guys, I don't know, where the bad guys fight the good guys, and it can be pretty fun, but yeah.
Okeechobee in Florida. Now, Lake Okeechobee is the second largest body of fresh water in the US, and it's around 730 square miles. But weird stories have surrounded this lake for decades, the weirdest one being the lake's bones. Hear me out.
Bones?
Before 1910, many pioneers had reported seeing human skeletons in the shallow ends of the lake. So much so that a lot of fishermen actually caught human skulls in their nets. One settler claimed that during low water periods, the shallow end looked like a pumpkin patch full of skulls. I know that pumpkin patch is nice imagery, but just imagine a pumpkin patch of skulls. Skulls! In the early years of the 1900s, people found more than 50 human skeletons in the lake, and before you guess, no, it wasn't an old dryland burial site. In 1953, Willis Crosby used to catfish in the lake, and he claimed he found half a dozen skulls in the lake. Some people think it could be because of old mass casualties, like during a hurricane, but there weren't that many people that even lived near the lake during the early 1900s to begin with. They weren't...
Nah, bro. What the hell? A lake full of people? Dead people? No, I don't like that.
Battle soldiers either, because the last battle close by was in 1837 and only 30 people died, and that was on the other side of the lake. So in essence, there have been numerous accounts of people finding skulls and human skeletal remains in this lake, and absolutely no one has any idea how they got there. Scary indeed. And that's it for today's video, guys.
I had a very bad joke in mind for that lake. I don't know. I was going to say that maybe the bottom of the lake used to be an American school, an American school, and there was a school shooter. That's fucked up. Well, yeah, that was pretty much all for this video too. And if you liked it, please don't forget to give me a like button. Smash that like button down there and subscribe to my channel also if you want to see similar videos to this, maybe some tech videos or gaming videos. Well, that's mostly what I post here, is tech videos, gaming videos and reaction videos. But yeah, if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe, put on that notification bell, and also comment what you want me to react in the next video too. And maybe I will do that. Well, if you want to see the video that I reacted to, I will leave that linked in the description, and you can watch the full video without me interrupting. But yeah, that was all for this video. If you like this, like it. Yeah. Well, otherwise, see you in the next one. Bye.